you want to know fear, right, stand in front of probably around about, I don't know, 1,500 people in a country that you've never been to before, in a language that you can't speak, and try and address the crowd.
The fact that I live in Wooville. Like, it's not my fault that I live in the fucking Grinch town and they've just about discovered fire. It was like 10 o'clock at night and I was really hungry and I was like, I really fancy some mash. So I made mash. So it's a mental story, I know. And so I was like, yeah, I just ate a bowl of mash and it was really nice. And it's really changed my outlook on mash ever since that night. Hello, and welcome to episode 48 of the Uncensored Podcast. And I am Riley. And to my left here, who do we have?
We have the usual. We have me, Tom. Hello.
And today we have guests.
Hi.
Whee! There we go.
Yay.
Second time lucky today. Yeah, we are joined by Stu and Luke from White Raven Down. How are you boys today?
All right.
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. All good. The weather's
Getting there
broken, so
today.
it's a little less hot and sticky as it was earlier. So yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, I kind of get that. I mean, me working outside, it's just ridiculously hot. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
The heat wave has not been an enjoyable experience. It's been
not
shocking, to be quite frank.
Agreed.
Especially on back to school season. I've been in the hottest non-air conditioned rooms like in the country. It's horrible. Never been a heat person.
But hey, it's kind of like being in Spain, isn't it?
Yeah. That's how I feel every morning. It feels like waking up in Spain. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I've been waking up with a little freaking cough, as if like some blooming sandy dust is in the air, and I'm like, it's a tickly little cough that I never had before this heat wave. I don't know. Maybe
A
I'm
little bit.
freaking just getting used to this singing lark and becoming a bit of a pussy or something. I don't know, but.
Diva. Diva alert.
Yes. So, of course, during one of Tom's interviews, I was unpresent because I was attending important business-related ventures. I was sunbathing in Spain. But,
Wow.
Look, in my defense, the holiday existed before you guys.
An important holiday.
Yeah,
I doubt that.
I didn't book it around not seeing White Raven Down. But you've got a whole shabam where we ask cool questions here, which should last for roughly an hour. And trust me, by the end you'll go, fuck, it was so much better when it was just Tom. So let's start talking about your origin, eh? How did you all formulate to the big, cool, epic clump that is White Raven Down?
Fucking
Originally,
cool epic club.
yeah, clump, yeah.
New bio.
Sorry,
for
I
you,
thought that
by
was
the way.
ridiculously fucking funny.
So, way back in 2017, I originally started the band, and I was originally starting to put it together as a 5-piece, and couldn't quite find a rhythm guitar player that I was sort of wanted to play with and comfortable, bond and gel and all that sort of thing. So we ended up being a 4-piece. Band members left, and Luke answered an ad. Oh no, you left an ad, didn't you, on a website, and I called you up, didn't I?
Yeah. But that was like 10 years before. I've forgotten about that ad altogether. And I was looking for a drummer.
Yeah. He got a short, pushy lead guitarist instead.
Yeah. I didn't know you were short at the time.
No, that's the beauty of phones, isn't it? So yeah, we went out on the road as a 4-piece. We did our debut EP, Conspiracy, in 2018. We discovered Tom just before that, our drummer, and we were solidified 4-piece band. And then things were taking momentum for us. Then the pandemic hit, and just prior to the pandemic, we've been writing and recording our debut album, and we managed to put the finishing touches to that album through the pandemic. As soon as the pandemic was finished, we released the album, and once we released the album, our vocalist left. So White Raven Down is now a 3-piece band.
But still writing music as a 5-piece.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that was about a year ago, wasn't it? Just over a year ago now. So that's how we came to be. We're now 2023. I can't believe it. The amount of hard work and effort we've put into this band is incredible. Most people would have given up by now. Yeah. I truly believe that. We've had a lot of things.
Sorry, but
no, go on.
I remember, like, when me and Riley first started this, I remember scrolling through Facebook, just having a look, seeing, oh, I wonder what bands we could try and book on. And I remember seeing you boys, and I was sitting there thinking, fuck, I don't think it'd be, I wouldn't say worth it, but I don't think we'd have a chance to get through to you boys. We was going with this at the start of it was probably last year. Not start last year, like halfway through, because it seemed like you was getting so big.
At least it looks that way.
Yeah, if it looks that way. Yeah, no, mate, we just work really, really hard, and we're all three of us are stubborn. And if people say no to us, then we generally freaking try even harder to prove them wrong. And that's kind of what we're about. We love to play live. We're a bit old school insofar as, you know, it's great to have. So I mean, you know, we've been pushing the social media for a while. That's why you see a lot of stuff from us. But there's nothing like playing live. And that, to be fair, I think that's where our band thrives, particularly now more than ever. You know, we're a far better live band than we have been. And yeah, we just love what we do. We love writing blooming, you know, catchy choruses with heavy freaking riffs, and you know, keeping it melodic without sort of going, you know, too metally, without going too screamy. We just like keep mixing it up with melodies, and that's about it. It's about us keeping it modern.
Yeah, that's
keeping it modern. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's always good. I think just evolve like how you feel fit, isn't it? So
it's that I think rock is in a potentially dangerous place, in my opinion, and I might be alone in this, but rock is one of those genres, right? That there's bands out there in the UK that are, you know, playing music which is heavily influenced by times gone by, and stick to that, you know, and that's okay. That it really is genuinely okay, and that's totally cool. But for me, as an artist, and even as a listener, as a consumer, I want to hear rock evolve and challenge new boundaries and make things exciting. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to hear a band that are in their 20s play the same music that was being released in the 80s. I just don't want to hear it. You know, I would totally respect bands doing it. Do you know what I mean? Musicianship and all that, I get it. I get it. I respect it. But personally, I want to see music go forward and evolve. And that excites me. Not hearing stuff that I've heard for the past, you know, 30, 40 years on the radio. Just my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But kind of on that, are there any bands that you do feel are evolving the genre at the moment that you know, are really highlights for maybe a pioneer of a new wave of rock?
Well, I wouldn't say so much like from a grassroots point of view. I mean, there are bands that I do consider that sort of making interesting music, and the band that I really admire is a band like 50 Year Storm that are creating different um, sounds and soundscapes, but still making it raw and passionate, which is what I'm into. You know, I'm into something that's a bit rough around the edges. I don't like everything to be freaking so tightly engineered and so compressed that there's no freaking excitement. There's no frequencies throughout there. I want to hear I want to hear a guitar tone that's fucking going to crush me. Do you know what I mean? I want to hear something with some bite and some balls. I don't want to hear something that's been just compressed and there's just got no life in it. Yeah, so bands like 50 Year Storm that that take a rigidness to a ruggedness to them. I think it's really interesting, like a band like Bring Me the Horizon. You know what they've done when they first started. They were an out and out hardcore band.
Yeah.
And you know, hardcore obviously being a subgenre of metal and rock. Excuse me, tickly looking coughing. And what's really interesting is the way they've diversified. All right, admittedly, they've gone into the mainstream and perhaps have gone proper far from where they started, but they are pushing the boundaries and making interesting music that still has an underlying heavy feel, which fundamentally isn't that far from where they actually started.
Yeah.
But they're pushing rock in a different place. You got to have massive respect for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what Bring Me the Horizon, what I've always liked about Bring Me the Horizon, is the fact that they're very unapologetically like they make what they want to make. Like because they were this proper, like you said, this hard like metal band. Like Sempiternal was like really for the genre quite a defining album. And then they released something like That's the Spirit, which received like a good bit of backlash. Like nothing massive, but it was a bit of a change. And then instead of going, oh, maybe we need to start really screaming again, they released Ammo, which was even more like, no, I can't fancy doing this.
Can you imagine if they'd gone from Sempiternal to Ammo? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean,
yeah, no, I think it would have been entirely rejected at the time, just because it was such a curveball.
But for a genre, for a rock band to do such a thing over 2 or 3 albums, it's freaking. I think that's pretty incredible, and you know, I personally think I just wish there was more of that in rock.
Yeah,
because otherwise, rock is just going to go backwards because you know we're just going to get regurgitated music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just my opinion, and my opinion is very unpopular, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, but what was not very unpopular between the members of your band was the name that you decided to use, as that is the name that you still use, White Raven Down. So how did you come up with that name?
Luke, do you want to do one?
Well, you just know the story so much better, and you like to tell the story.
I actually have a theory on it because I thought about it earlier.
Go on. Let's hear your theory. Go on.
And well, White Raven Down. It sounds like the complete reverse of a film. Black. Oh no! There we go. I was gonna say Black Down, but I've just realised it's not like the complete reverse.
I actually also had a theory, if we want to pitch him, but mine definitely isn't right. The guest that I was thinking about this earlier. Did White Raven Down come from the cryptic section of a daily crossword clue?
I like that one.
yeah, I wish it did. That sounds cool. No. Neither one of
so confident in that. I put all my chips in.
The the story, right, was is sort of quite similar to sort of like Noah's Ark, right? So a lot of things what we do have meaning and they have thought process that go on behind it all. So White Raven Down is, according to a fable, a raven uh, in low-lying land was under attack by rising sea level and flooding, and a bison was looking for higher land to survive. And a white raven was flying around looking very exhausted and was also looking for higher ground. Well, what happens that the bison spoke to the white raven? It's 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 a myth, it's a legend. And the bison invited the white raven to rest on his back, in the thought being that if he rested, that once he felt rested again, he could fly away and find higher ground. And the bison allowed this raven to land on his back, and it looked certain that these waters would continue to rise, and the bison was going to sacrifice himself to allow the white raven to survive. Well, they said their goodbyes once the raven was rested, and the raven flew away, and he actually found higher ground, and he brought a twig back from the higher ground, and he led the bison to that higher ground and saving his life. Now, the idea being from that a white raven is considered to be good luck. White Raven Down is the polar opposite. So essentially, we've called our band Bad Luck. That's White Raven Down.
And we're full of it. All the time.
Wow. Yeah, that's there's a lot more thought and story into that one than we get most of the time.
So after a Hollywood film,
a lot more thought.
Yeah, Hollywood film, fuck off. Come on. Yeah, no, it's not a Hollywood film.
Yeah, Tom, your guess was stupid.
I was sitting there thinking, and then I thought, I was sat there thinking, oh yeah, it's definitely like the reverse of Black Hawk Down. Like, that's me thinking, oh no, that's White Raven Up.
Although I do like the film.
Actually,
fucking hell.
Yeah. So we've also our debut album was called "Don't Shoot the Messenger," which was based on Greek mythology. And
I love Greek mythology.
Well, are you familiar with what was it? Was it
it was Apollo.
Apollo, yeah.
Apollo sent the White Raven out to see if his lover was cheating on him. So White Raven goes out, finds out the information, flies back, says, "Oh yeah, by the way, she's having her way with this fella over here." So he shoots the raven down, turning him black. So
you forget his arrow's flaming.
Oh, the flaming arrow, yeah, because he's the god of the sun and the god of carrying the sun through the sky. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, he's shooting down the White Raven with the flaming arrow.
Yeah, I've got a big book on Greek mythology somewhere, but I seem to have misplaced it.
I didn't realise that Riley just completely disappeared.
Are you building yourself a den?
Yeah, this actually goes down about 400 meters. I've got a bit of a stairwell down there.
You're hiding Titan.
Yeah. I'll find it. Just Tom, be funny.
Well,
pressure's on.
I'm gonna get a question. I'm gonna get a question in since Riley's just decided to nick 2 questions. So obviously you've done quite a few like festivals and like gigs. I'm gonna make you choose now. What is one of your favorites that you've done so far?
Go on, though. You got a favourite one.
Thinking now.
I'm about to get
No, got A few. 5 Volt was wicked.
Yeah.
5 Volt was a wicked festival, and it's also playing in a tent, massive tent.
Yeah, that was big, wasn't it? Yeah. I got to, I really enjoyed. I mean, I've got to be honest, right? They're all brilliant. Each festival is different. It's completely different, and they're all good fun for different reasons. I've got to say that one of my favourite ones was the very first time we played a festival, and it was called Giants of Rock, and it was down in Minehead, and we were on the introducing stage, and we played to this this room that was about 600 people in there, and it was the very first time that we played, and I felt that the room got us. What is he doing?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but I'm just pissing myself fucking mad. The fact that Riley's just in the background singing to himself. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Oh.
Yeah, so I'd say that
I genuinely don't think that he realises that he's getting recorded.
probably not.
One of those in the background.
But anyway, continue.
I'd say that. You want me to carry on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to completely ignore the fact that he's singing.
I'd say Giants of Rock is probably my favourite because it was the first time that I felt a room totally got us, and it was that 2018, was it?
Yeah.
2018, and then we went because there was like a competition thing going on there. We won. We won. Yeah, which I forgot to tell everyone. I thought I did, but we ended up winning it, and then the following year. We couldn't play because of COVID. The whole thing was cancelled. But the year after that, we played to about 2,500 people, and that was magic. That one, I really freaking enjoyed that.
That sounds mental.
But now, I mean, we played it as a 4-piece. I wish we could play it again as a 3 now. But it was just great. It was just really, really cool. But I mean. I love Nosfest. I love 5 Volt this year. I really love playing. We played Love Rocks. I love playing SOS. Yeah.
I've got a little fun fact.
Anyway, what the lovely what the lovely people at home just heard was because we can't announce that until it becomes a confirmed thing. So you get some you get some exclusive snippets.
No, censor it with Riley singing. Censor it with Riley singing. Please censor it with Riley singing. Little do you know, that whole time that you was gone, we'd just been taking the piss out of you singing. But
hey, look, I've got a beautiful voice. It was beautiful. I was singing "Ouch" from Ammo. If it wasn't abundantly clear, and another one, but I forgot because it's not as good as "Ouch." It's a really underrated song in that album, I feel. Yeah. Any other awesome festivals of which you played at while I sneeze? I don't.
What was the one? I mean, to be fair, we've done we've done loads.
Yeah.
Every one of them are brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I've got to say the Sternbergsky Kopec one in Czech Republic, that was freaking superb.
I'm still struggling to say it though.
Oh, mate, my foreign language is awful. I struggle with English.
Genuinely 16 times that you tried to do that on that video.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, and honestly, guys, I would suggest, right, if you want to know fear, right, stand in front of probably around about, I don't know, 1,500 people in a country that you've never been to before, in a language that you can't speak, and try and address the crowd. All right, freaking, it's
Wow.
petrified.
What are you thinking, Tom? Uncensored Go Czech Republic?
Yeah,
Do it.
mate,
Oh,
it's when
you
you
know,
go
Have a
there.
great time.
Yeah,
if Tom
yeah.
booked the tickets.
It's a
That,
fantastic place. It really is really cool. I'll tell you what, and also is really cool and interesting about that place is that festival that we were on, and it seems to be quite commonplace looking at the bills over there, is that you'd get almost like a 90s sort of teen, I wouldn't say teeny, but like pop band,
So they're
followed
definitely not
by,
teeny box now.
no, that's right, yeah, followed by, I mean, an 80s thrash band, followed by a sleaze band, followed by, I mean,
followed
you
by
know,
Girls Aloud.
yeah, you would. And
It was nuts.
and it's totally acceptable. And everyone's like, yeah, no, I was like, I can't believe I'm looking at all this. This is madness. You'd never get this over here.
Yeah.
But it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
You know, Strawberry Fest was a big like that because when we first arrived, there was this. I forgot their names, but it was a band of just guys just singing some like nice tunes. I think one of them had a saxophone. I think they called their genre saxophone rock. It's like rock but with a saxophone. And then the next act was like a proper like thrash metal. I was like, fuck Jesus. And just throughout the whole night, you never knew what to expect. Sometimes you'd get, an all right band. Sometimes you'd get fucking vulgarism. It's just a matter of
God.
seeing what's next. Once again, vulgarism. If you'd like to come on
I'm
the
pretty
podcast,
sure.
please do.
Mm.
I love you.
I'm pretty sure every time we mention your Strawberry Fair, you mention vulgar rhythm.
Yes,
But he was pretty mental.
he was. If you
You
ever,
never really mix drum and bass with rock. Like it's one of the most odd things.
but he went where no man was ever went before, and he's still killing it. So I love you, vulgarism.
One quick question: I've got 4.5 minutes left.
Oh, me.
What do you reckon, Rob?
Oh no, yeah, we can squeeze another question in light work. But yeah, so I'll kind of link that on. Are there any like lesser known genres that you like catch yourself listening to a lot, or?
Oh, mate, honestly, we've got such a massive, influence of music within our band. I mean, I enjoy movie scores, classical symphony music stuff. And then, Luke likes fucking some weird shit. But go on, tell me what you like.
Okay, so one of the most recent.
I
It's
want
'cause of the
to
kids
hear
as well.
some of these.
My phone, right? The music that I've got on my phone goes all over the place, and I mean all over the place. I've got Justin Timberlake on my phone, as well as something like Maximum the Hormone. If you know Maximum the Hormone,
I'll write it down.
like Japanese metal, or some random K-pop that's floating about. Then progressive metal being sixth. Yeah, it's nuts. My phone all over the place.
It sounds crazy.
The best playlists just have a bit of everything, though.
Yeah,
Like, if you just listen to the exact same genre just over and over again, it gets to a stage where it'll get a little boring. So, like, sometimes you need to have a good mix. Like, if you've got an album that goes from Bring Me the Horizon to Post Malone, like, it'll keep it interesting. Like, you need that variety. But,
and also Disney. Lots of Disney on my phone as well. That winds you up.
Well, you're driving along and like, yeah, I'm getting into this. I fancy a bit more. Let's turn it up. And then you get freaking let it go. And like, what the fucking get it off. You know?
So I think what he's trying to say is that he wants to make a cover album.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Cover of metal.
I hate covers. I hate covers.
Me when it's the middle of summer.
Or game music as well. We'll do that.
Well, game music.
The
We
Mario
do.
theme, but thrash
Yeah,
metal.
that's what I was thinking, Mario. Yeah.
Do a bit of Mario.
To be fair,
Acapella.
Elden Ring.
Back guitar and drums.
Elden Ring, yeah. What the thing is, like, how many games, like game soundtracks, have lyrics? A lot of it is like wordless.
That makes it even easier for us then. Because Stu doesn't have to worry about singing as well.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So you can just do Doom, just the whole Doom soundtrack,
Yeah.
because the Doom franchise is fucking peak
Epic.
games. It's brilliant.
Wow, freaking Doom.
I love Doom.
It's
I
awesome.
haven't played Doom since when was the first one? That came out like mid-90s?
Love the first
92,
one. The
93.
first one's so good.
First one was
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm. Yeah, when I bought the newest one, it came with the first one, so I beat both, and the first one's great.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, so this is a 10-minute breathing interval because we haven't got premium, where you can get refreshed and pray that the next part will be the last.
Have a 10-minute piss.
Yeah. So we will
Cool.
see you in the following part. Wazoo. And welcome to part 2. So we're going to jump right in it. If this is a pool, that's us jumping into the pool as I ask this pool question. So, are there any moments in a film of which you would put a song that you made, not in general? The song, not the film. And if you've made a film and you'd like to put one of your songs in there, then go for it. But your song, not your film, for the most part. Bang, bang.
Ooh.
Are you asking us to put our own song in a film that's already made? Is that
That
the
is
question?
exactly what I've asked.
Right, okay, cool. Okay, go on, Luke.
Ooh. I
What I
reckon.
was actually asking you is, can you make a film?
Yeah. So I want you to make a 2-hour feature-length film before this episode ends.
Yep. No problem. We've got spare time. We can
Awesome.
throw it in.
Okay.
I
Right.
reckon. Dark Knight.
Ooh,
Batman. Dark Knight.
whereabouts?
With. Do you know as the Joker's walking away from the hospital,
Yeah.
which is a wicked scene,
It's a brilliant scene. One of the best in the film.
and it comes in with Price You Pay
Mm.
as it blows up.
Ooh. You know what? The Dark Knight is a brilliant film.
It's a wicked film.
You know,
Yeah,
what? The
it's
Dark
great.
Knight, actually, it's weird because I wanted to talk about this, but I thought, well, I'm never ever going to segue this. But I was in an ethics class on Monday. Yeah, I was in an ethics class because that's part of my curriculum. And basically, they were teaching about morality and stuff and the trolley problem. And then they played the clip, you know, in The Dark Knight Rises, where Joker has rigged 2 boats to explode, one of which full of criminals, one of which full of humans. And he was like, so if you were one of these innocents, would you press the button? And then it's like, no, but would you press the button? I thought it was quite interesting. If you were a passenger on the boat of innocence, what would you do in that situation?
Stu already knows what I'd do. What would you do, Stu?
You push the button.
But would
I'd
you
push
be
the
the
button.
one to press that button? Or would you just cast your vote to press it? Because that was the interesting thing it opened up, because it's a matter of, per se, because when everyone does a group vote, if you write yes on a piece of paper, blood's still not on your hands. But if you're there and you press that button, everyone there is dead. Like you have killed them. And would you live with that?
from a morality standpoint, even if you wrote yes, the blood's still on your hands.
True, but it's less so. It's like 25% on your hands, whereas it is 100% in the palm of your hands if you're pressing that button.
Well, if you're going to do it for the saving enough people, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But I think I know what I'd do. I would write no. I'd write no on the piece of paper because I'm not being funny. The resounding majority will be saying yes. So that way, blood's off my hands and I can live. That seems a good way to do it.
But you're hoping that other people aren't going to be thinking like that.
Yes. It's the same thing with the trolley problem. Like on one hand, if you pull the lever, only one person dies. On the other hand, if you pull the lever, you've killed that man. If you haven't pulled the lever, those 5 people, nothing to do with you. So I think it's interesting. I like trolley problems.
Or if worst comes to worst, just move all the rest onto the other track. Problem solved. Smooth sailing.
Yeah, are there any other films that you'd whack in a banger of yours?
I do remember our song Salvation was actually based on Terminator Salvation. Remember that film? And the lyrics kind of moving around the sort of John Connor, there is no fate but what we make. Our lives are in our hands is the chorus. And I know this without a doubt. Our heads are in the sand. And that was sort of like the lyrics of that song, sort of loosely based on Terminator Salvation. So in that case, Salvation would make a good song for Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that was one of the Terminator films, I guess would be. Yeah. And at what moment, I don't know, when Arnie decided to rip the teeth out of Jaws or something just to do a crossover. I think that's
I don't even think I've ever watched Terminator, if I'm being dead honest.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I may have watched the first like years ago, but I just it's not something I've ever found myself stumbling across, if I'm being honest.
The original was on TV literally last week, and I found myself, channel flicking at around about 10 o'clock at night. And I was just like, oh wow, I ain't seen this for freaking donkeys. And I was totally freaking absorbed into it. And I was like, I mean, at one point I had to give up just to go to bed, but I was like, oh wow, this is really good. And let's face it, freaking the story's freaking cool, isn't
it? Yeah, that story.
We've got Riley is a child and he doesn't watch normal TV.
I think it's more the fact that I live in fucking Wooville. Like it's not my fault that I live in the fucking Grinch town and they've just about discovered fire. Like,
where do you live, Riley? Where are you?
Oh, so my address is no, I'm based I'm based more coastal. More coastal Essex.
Whereabouts?
Up the road from us.
So Shant, this is not Shat for the record. Do not keep where I live in. I just want a clear clarification here. This does not stay in. No, but I live.
I know that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to work up the road from it.
I swear we've mentioned that before.
No, I'm always very careful to just say I live in a small remote town on the coast because I don't fancy doxing myself. But yeah, no. So it's quiet, just a bit too quiet.
I like it over there.
Yeah, I
used to work in Southminster.
Yeah, but I feel like I'll bite my tongue. Tom, why
Yeah,
don't you
I'm
ask
like an
your
hour away
question?
from him. He decided to move. Okay. So Riley's talked about his movies. I'm going to go off the same kind of thing. If I'm still here, am I alive still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good.
think so.
So yeah, so I'm going to pitch like a kind of situation, kind of scene, kind of thing. So they've decided to make a film about a biopic about White Raven Down. What celebrity would you like to play yourselves?
Wow. All right, probably the height of Tom Cruise.
I was going to say Danny DeVito for you.
Oh,
Oh, that's ow.
yeah. Oh, I quite like Matt Damon. He's a cool actor, isn't he? But he's sort of like he's not too rough around the edges. He's quality in what he does, and I think he's sort of like doesn't shout too much about how freaking great he is. Uh, that's a good characteristic Ricky to have. Yeah, I think he'd do a pretty good job of my bit, whatever fucking bit that would be. But yeah, I got Matt Damon. Why not?
Okay, Matt Damon. And Luke, what's your input? What would you be?
Don't know. Keanu Reeves.
Oh, you know what? I'll
I
take
can
it.
kind of see that.
He plays bass, so
And he was in
know
like,
Yeah,
how to
that's
at least
true.
look like he's playing.
and he was in like all of the good films ever. So,
Like
Yeah, he's in a couple.
Bill and Ted.
and The
Yes.
Matrix.
Was that the last Matrix films? You can't include those as good films.
I didn't think the most recent Matrix was that bad.
I've not seen the latest one.
First one, amazing.
Oh, first one is peak cinema. It's up there with Baby Driver and Fight Club.
Fight Club is fantastic.
Oh, Fight
I
Club,
love
yeah,
Fight
great
Club.
film.
It's brilliant. I feel like every teenage boy
you
goes
reckon?
through the I love Fight Club stage, but I love Fight Club. It is brilliant. And Baby Driver too. That film's great. But I say that about I say that about a lot of films I watch though. Like I watched a film on Netflix called The Avengement. That's really good. So my recommendation is to go and watch The Avengement. It's wicked. It's about an hour and a half of your life, and it's very worth it. It's about a bloke, and he kills people, but he tells a nice backstory while he does it. And he drinks. He likes beer. And if that interests you, it'll be right up your alley.
I should have gone for freaking Andrew Garfield, who's standing there behind you. Oh, he's tiny, is he? He looked like a life-size cutout of the door.
No, that's a life-size cutout.
Right.
Yeah, but speaking of Andrew Garfield, I love Tick Tick Boom as well. That's
Actually,
a brilliant
makes me
film.
laugh every time that happens.
Yeah, just a blank space on my wall. Yeah, but film's good. I like films. You know what people also like that sounds vaguely similar to films? Food. So with that, I give you our magnum opus, if you will. So you came on here for the 1.5 time. You've heard some questions. You've answered some. We found some of your interests. Greek mythology too. We found your awesome origin story. And now
we heard Riley singing.
That won't make it. But there's a time where you need to get serious. And what time like the present, eh? So, without saying any more, because I'm out of things to say, if I'm being honest. What is the best sandwich?
Fish finger.
It is that is one of the best answers a man can give.
Mm. It's got to be bacon.
Oh. Mm.
Bacon's
No.
food of gods.
Now, bacon itself is great, but I feel like a bacon sarnie, you are always let down. You like the idea of a bacon sarnie more than you like a bacon sarnie. Like, if you're
No,
being
I
honest
disagree
with
with that.
yourself.
Yeah. The biggest thing about the bacon sarnie. Now, obviously, we spend loads of time on the road, right? And you might be waking up, you're freaking still tired from the night before. If you haven't got a show the following day, then might have even had a few beers after, dying for something to eat, for something to eat. The biggest letdown you could possibly have if you've got a blooming breakfast or a bacon sandwich or something like that, and they overcook your bacon and they make it freaking crispy.
Ooh.
Oh,
No, crispy bacon,
no,
good
worst.
bacon.
That's
No.
you're wrong, Stu. You know you're wrong.
No.
We always have this argument.
You've got to have your bacon undercooked where it's all floppy.
No.
Yeah.
Crispy.
To be fair,
That's the best way to have it.
I have to agree that it needs to be like cooked, but not crispy. Crispy is too much.
Yeah.
I don't like crispy.
It's got to
It
be
don't
floppy.
have
It's got to
flavour
be
when
floppy
it's
bacon.
crispy.
No, you know,
Loads of
Luke, I'm
flavour.
on Crisp Town with you here.
No. It's proper divisive, this one.
Yeah, if it ain't crunch, I don't want it, to be honest. It gets a bit dull. Yeah, no, I feel there is a place for non-crispy bacon, but in the average situation, I prefer a bit of crisp on that bacon. Just a humble opinion, of course, but I'll side with Luke here. But that also depends on what his sandwich choice is, because Stu, I might come running right back. Hang on, who said bacon sandwich?
Me.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, right, that's it. And Stu said fish finger. Ooh, I don't know who wins the bracket here. Yeah, I do. Fish finger, obviously. Fish finger wins the bracket. No, yeah. Fish finger sandwich clear, especially if you put some mash in it. Mash and fish finger sandwich is the best. What I've realised, mash might be the best. Not just food, just in general. I think mash might be the best ever. Like, name something better than mash.
Bubble.
A bubble.
Yeah, bubble and squeak. So I can see the way you're looking at me. Oh, mate.
Crispy bacon is better.
All right. Mash with crispy bacon bits. Better.
Perfect.
That's how we peak here. I just think it's very versatile. Sometimes, I kid you not, a few weeks ago, it was like 10 o'clock at night and I was really hungry and I was like, I really fancy some mash. So I made mash. So it's a mental story, I know. You'll never hear this anywhere else. And so I just ate a bowl of mash and it was really nice. And it's really changed my outlook on mash ever since that night. It's just really good.
Sorry,
food.
Is he going through his mash phase at the moment?
Sorry, I've got to be honest. Running on literally 0 hours of sleep, the alarms have really set my routine off. So this is not prime Riley Jones right here. So we'll move on to our.
This is mashed up Riley Jones.
Yeah, We'll move on to the last question. Mashless. So, Tom, get the notepad. I'm going to ask you to make a band. Now, you can choose to do this as a team or make separate bands. I don't care. The rules are simple. You can have as many or as few people in the band as you'd like, but you must have at least the core fundamentals of a bassist, like a drummer, a singer, and a guitar. You can be in the band, but you don't have to be. You can have anyone on any instrument, but they will not magically learn to play that instrument. They can be dead or alive. They will be alive when they perform, unless you specifically request them not to be. You can be in the band if you fancy, but you don't have to. I think I already said that. Go nuts.
Yes. I would like to add one more bit to it. You can dual wield, but not anything to like playing the guitar while playing the drums.
Well,
I think it's a thing,
I'm
mate. I know you're going to go for guitar.
I don't think you do actually.
Oh, you're not going to go.
I think you're going to say that I was going to say Tony Iommi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be a rhythm guitarist. I think I was actually thinking more Matt Bellamy. I don't know why. Just
fair enough.
A good, a good rhythm player, good, a decent lead player, but definitely has a range of tones and it's interesting. You put him with someone like, I don't know, who would you go, like Neil Peart or something like that?
Well, I was going to say Geddy Lee bass. Definitely Geddy Lee bass.
I'll tell you what, interesting point. Okay, what if we were to have Matt Bellamy on vocals, because that would make it proper interesting, and have Tony Iommi on guitar?
Yeah.
And
I'm down with
Neil
that.
Peart on, Geddy Lee on bass. Who would we have on drums?
Stuck between two.
Ian Pace, Deep Purple. Ian Pace. Freaking phenomenal drummer. Phenomenal drummer.
Thinking a bit of what Portnoy. Possibly drums.
Don't know who that is.
Dream Theater's drummer.
Oh, right, okay. Is he the sort to sort of overplay?
Yeah, probably.
Who's more of a sort of for someone a song drummer? Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a cool band, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll go with that.
Is that your final, or is there any other additions you'd like to make?
I'd like to hear that band, to be perfectly honest. I think that would be freaking good.
So that's your final.
And give Geddy Lee his keyboard as well.
Okay.
So he's got his keys and his bass.
And so that's where you're leaving this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that brings us to a close of this episode of the Uncensored podcast. So unless there are any questions that you have for us before we end.
How did you get into starting this podcast? What made you decide to start doing this?
We did the generic friend thing. We went, mate,
down.
Start a podcast. And then for some reason we did. To be fair, I really wish there was an elaborate origin story. We stuck with it. But Tom just every now and then has a brand new, crazy, ambitious idea that probably won't come to fruition. And so when he was like, we should start a podcast, I said, yeah, sure, of course we should. And then we did. It's been over a year now and we're still here. So I think he won, to be fair. And yeah, so ever since then, I've just been grafting. And talking to people. For some reason, they're still talking to us. So just get more ambitious by the day, really, and see how far we can shithouse this. Which is seeming like pretty far, to be fair. But Tom, any comment you want to throw in?
It's just I just see it as a little bit of fun for a week. Like we'll have 2 episodes done in a week, and it will just be us just having a fun old fucking time.
Not on this fucking heat wave though. I have no energy. Yeah, the sun just takes it all out of you. There's nothing left. Bring on the winter months where you're nice and cozy and you're reserving the energy.
Yeah,
and the Christmas episode.
Yes, and the Christmas episode. The old faithful. But so this is where we close off. Make sure to go listen to White Raven Down, proper class. Go to Instagram, follow them, follow us. Link below. Do the subscribes and the comments, and comment your favorite type of raven. No, you know what? Comment your favorite fable. I personally like the one with the scorpion and the frog. That's my go-to one whenever I need a fable. So have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you on the next one. Banjo Kazooie.